Hello and welcome to the Twitch stream Play of the Night. I am your humble host, James JC Laird, and welcome to our 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons stream. We are a collection of random people all together playing through the wonderful world of my imagination and pure devastation that is Raska. If you're looking for the group after this, feel free to stick around for this one as well, because both journeys are very different as they explore the realms and what mysteries they entail. Thankfully, though, we have, joining us this time, we have Allura playing Kova.
Hello.
We have Robin playing Dwalias.
Hello.
We have Will playing Inu.
Hello.
And then we have the youngest person playing the oldest person, Ryan, playing Ilmenor.
Hello.
Grandpa.
Obviously.
Daddy!
Grandpa Ilmenor.
It was! I was waiting for it! So, if you are new to your Twitch streaming viewership, welcome to us. We play slightly loosey-goosey, we're a little bit flavorful, much more roleplay focused, and much more rule of cool and rule of fun in our system. However, there are a couple of things that you, the viewer, should be aware of. During the events of this game, you, the viewers, along with the cast, will get to vote on whom it is that is most deserved of Play of the Night. This will award them DM Inspiration. If you're not aware of what the Inspiration is, it allows them to roll with advantage on a particular attack, skill check, or saving throw. Basically, it allows them to greatly enhance the probability of success given the difficult situations I put them in. Last time, the person who won the Play of the Night, the first time I believe, was Will, playing Emil. So Emil, would you mind recounting for everybody what went on and how you won your Play of the Night?
So the session before last, we set off on the boat and we were just attacked. After we got attacked, we went and had some chats on the boat. Kova jumped into the water to get some fish. Kova jumped into the water to nearly been blinded. Kova jumped into the water to nearly been blinded. Then we rested, and when we arise from our rest, we found a light orb, or one of us noticed a light orb and started chasing it around the ship. And so as we started to approach, there was more orbs. Everyone started to see these orbs, and so we went to investigate. Dwalias, being the keen-eyed dwarf, was the first to see it, and he found a necromancer. We believe a necromancer, but all we know is there was necromancy around. And this necromancer was wearing the School of Conjuration robes for the big magical institution in the City of Glass, and the same school that my character Anil is from. And this carried on, and he started screaming at me, telling me that I have left him. And being an elf, I've lived a long life. I was a kid when I first joined the school. I don't remember this event. Be that for whatever reason, and so I can't remember who this creature is, what's its name, and it then attacks us, and we've just defeated it, and we are resting. And that's where we end. Are we resting? I thought this is a camp here.
Well, you have the option to camp. However, you also have the ruins themselves to investigate if you so wish to do so. You are fairly low on health, and taking a long rest will put you to the next morning where the ship will be setting sail. Most of the people are agreeing that they're going to set out the storm because vessels, not even on the high seas, but on the water with a thunder and lightning storm going around, it tends not to go well for the ship. Especially not back in the oldie times. So you're berthed up for the night, so you have the night to do with as you wish.
I certainly need a long rest. I'm not looking too hot at the moment.
I will remind you that taking a short rest allows you to spend hit die to regain health, and various people will regain abilities such as wizards and druids gain some spell slots back, depending on the druid circle. Fighters get a lot of their fighting abilities back. I believe rogues are the few that don't, but I'm not sure about racial abilities.
I do get one of the class features that you gave me. Comes back on the short rest.
Well, I vote that we do investigate this room further, but we take a little bit of a breather. I mean, I have like a bruised eye. I'm walking a bit limp. It's hurting bad. And by the way, Inno, what was that? He seemed that weird spirit thing seemed to recognize you, man.
Enil,
That's free.
you notice the creature's spellbook lying on the floor.
I had to pick up the spell book and look around for the title. I don't remember his name. Maybe it's in his book.
All right, bring it with you to camp and see if you can find some information in it.
Will do.
Right, let's go take a short rest real quick and then investigate the rooms.
Before we take a short rest, I use my arcane recovery to get back 2 second level spell slots. I think that's how many I could get.
Are we all good with that?
At your level, your 5th level, you can get half your level.
Half rounded down, so it's only 1.
So you can get 1 second level spell slot back. You crowd around the campfire, finding various members looking at you in bewilderment, confused at what is going on. Now, not to bother role-playing out to that part, because, let's face it was a ghost you don't know. It doesn't seem like interesting to anybody.
Fucking magic!
Looking at this book, it is pretty damn beat up. Most of the pages have been marked or have some form of decay. It's as if this book has been left in an area of necrosis for a long period, which has caused the cover and the edges of the pages, along with much of the material inside it, to warp and start to effectively drain, as if the ink has become wet again, only to run and blur. But you do figure out a few things from the book, namely spells. So the cantrips, Light, Mage Hand, and Shocking Grasp are in there. First level spells of Charm Person, Magic Missile. Second level spells of Hold Person, Misty Step, and Agonizar's Scorcher. And the third level spell, Haste, are all that you were able to gain from the book.
So do you mind repeating the first level spell slots down?
Yep.
Because I
Charm Person and a Magic Missile.
Thank you.
Then second level spells is Hold Person, Misty Step, and Agonizar's Scorcher. And third level Haste.
Thank you.
So this is in another person's spellbook.
Yeah, I've written it down in the additional feats and stuff.
So it will take time for you to be able to transfer them across. Each one will take a different amount of time, a different amount of gold. I would suggest figuring that out during some downtime, and then going from there, figuring out which ones you want to transfer across.
Yes. Some I don't need to include because I already have.
Other people
That
can
was
try
so
and
nice.
do it though. Try and work it if you don't.
I don't think people could. Spellbooks are slightly different than scrolls. Scrolls have the magic imbued in them, and anyone who can read them off and thus cast a spell. With you being a druidic caster rather than a wizardy caster, you could look at them and rolling high enough on the intelligence, you could decipher what things were, but it's not exactly like you can learn them. You have a number of spells that you can prepare each day.
Fair enough.
The cover of the book is a black leather with brown engravings upon it. The brown inscription seems to have been rendered illegible by whatever state this thing has been left in. The book itself is musty. It has an air of necromancy and necrosis around it in its own right, and the front cover is that of a closed, gauntleted fist. Anyone wishes to investigate it? By all means.
Yes. I'm sorry, I was concentrating on calculating how much HP I got back.
I'm
I got
guessing that.
exactly full.
Yeah, I'm guessing that I'm not in bear form anymore.
I hope not.
For
Yeah.
a long rest.
On a short rest, you can get them back. With your
Is it
regular
investigation rule?
For the book, this would be either investigation or religion.
I think both are the same, but just in case.
This is for the symbol, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to roll
Dirty 20.
an investigation.
Dirty 20 not history, religion, my bad.
16. Investigation.
I got 18.
Okay, chill the fuck out.
18 for... 18 for...
Investigation.
There we go.
Investigation.
So with an 18, you can understand that this is... Someone has adopted this symbol as their own. It is an imitation of some sort. They've made it their own with their own flair to it. Though the original symbol is beyond you. Dwalius, this is one of the symbols of the Deathly Trio.
I whisper out to the rest of the party as I see it. Deathly Trio. I recognize that symbol, guys. That's not a good symbol. At least not to my knowledge.
It is the symbol of Bane. Bane specifically was a much more of a forceful presence of the three, whereas Merkel was very much the cloaked mage of the group. Bane was much more the open front fighter, if you understand if you can get the imagery.
Yeah, he was like, Bane was the guy that's screaming at the front, yelling, "I will kill you all!" While the other guy was in the back going, "Yes, Bane, do what I told you." Alright, I will convey to the rest of the group that this is a symbol of the Deathly Three, guys. It's the symbol of Bane.
Are you sure? It looks to be modified of some sort. See, it's got different curls.
That's what the original was, at least. I don't know what it's supposed to be exactly now, but originally this was definitely the Deathly Three symbol of Bane, so...
JC, what is Bane? What is Bane the god of?
Allow me to check on that, because it's been a hot minute since I've known exactly what his portfolio was.
Oh, I'm being useful.
Your rolls have been good tonight.
Don't jinx it.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Sure, not the way. Feel free to roleplay amongst yourself while I grab this.
Anyway, Ilmenor, Inno, you both disappeared during that fight. What happened?
I used my magic to escape further harm. I sort of just show the Massive burn marks down my legs of the agonizer scorcher.
That looks painful. And I like twist to the side, and you see a giant gaping gouge just running down my leg, burning.
That does indeed.
Yeah,
I'm
You
just
guys
gonna slap
be
each
it.
one of their legs.
I'm gonna try to dodge that. I probably fail. I go, ow!
Bane is the
Disengage.
god of hatred, fear, but most explicitly, he is the god of tyranny.
Oh.
What else? God.
Might explain why he hates you, Anil, if he worships this person.
But he seemed to recognize Enil, so. And you say you don't remember him, so that's weird. How old are you, Enil? If you don't mind me asking.
How old am I? It's hard. I'm losing count of how many years. It's.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
think
probably a lot of
it's
memories.
my 130th. Sort of like 6 months ago.
Oh well, late congratulations. And I glance over at Ilmenor. Ilmenor, you're a bit older than him, right? Do you have the same memory issues?
It depends on the circumstances. The memories can come and go in dreams.
Weird. And I take out a little flask again and take a sip from it. Well, that was. This guy's used thunder, man. That wasn't cool.
He had a lot of different magics.
Well, he was definitely after Enil. He did, like, the main guy, he just walked past me twice.
That proved to be a fraud benefit, at least.
I mean, until you guys fucking disappeared, that is.
Yeah, but you're a big, strong lad.
Well, yeah, but
Nice.
four's a bit much, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have let you do it unless I was like. But I brushed the embers off my still slightly scarred torch clothes. Really quite hurt.
And Enil, the next time you finish off a monster, yeah? And you light my beard on fire again, you and me, my friend, we're gonna have some serious issues.
Yeah, it is quite a nice beard. So
Yes, and I would like to keep it that way.
You burnt his beard?
Yes, he shot fire at my face. Didn't you see that, Ilmenor?
I was a bit distracted, I'm afraid.
Yay! Fire!
Go for no.
Clover's just clapping her hands really fast and just looking at you all, and
You should have been there, Gova. We could have used your help.
then slowing down when no one's clapping with her.
Right. So, do you guys want to go into the ruins in a bit?
The lightning bolt strikes the tip of the
Oh.
3 askew towers. A peal
Oh,
of thunder
man.
blowing over you, and a stiff, very cold wind almost blows the campfire out.
You said the buildings weren't very stable, correct?
No, the building that we're going in. Look, JC, help me out here for a second. The building that we're trying to go in is perfectly fine, right? But the watchtowers are really falling apart. Like the tall
The
stuff.
the whole structure in its own right doesn't look well maintained. The fact that the towers are slanting is probably because the building is starting to sink into the mud in some way. The towers, kind of the same way as the Leaning Tower of Pisa, it's leaning, but it's stable enough in its own right. This, you'd have to go in and investigate to get a true understanding of how rickety things are, but generally speaking, the buildings that are still up look fairly okay.
Ilmenor, that be goblin craftsmanship. Those stones should be nearly as sturdy as dwarven craftsmanship. I mean, if it was dwarven, it would be 100% fine. But I can take a look ahead and inspect to see if it's definitely okay. So, if you
Treasure?
guys, Gova, there might be treasure, but
I'm going inside.
Alrighty.
She gets up and walks away.
well, you know which way it is from Camp Gova.
So,
Wait.
just to double check, what are people's health points at and how many hit dice do they use?
I have used let's go one at a time. I've used all of my hit dice, and before my short rest, I quickly rolled my second win too because I get it back on a short rest, and it got me
Yep.
to exactly full health. All of that. 10, no, not 10. 6d6, 6d10. Fuck. I'm done sometimes.
Eleanor?
I rolled all 5 of my d8 and I got 15 hit back. So I'm currently at 19 hit points.
You got 15 from 5d8.
I rolled 1 8 and then I rolled 4 2s and a single 1.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Enil?
I rolled all 5 and I am full hit points, overhealed by 1.
Alrighty.
Anyway, Kova, hold on. Don't rush off.
Kova's just there, skipping along, waving her hands from side to side.
Can I get a marching order? I believe Kova is in front.
Yeah!
I'll go right behind Kova, and I'll try to see if the building is structurally failing in any points.
The exterior edifices have fallen away because of the elements, but the internal structure, you can see where a couple corridors lead off and a stairwell leads down, seem okay, just a little bit cracked and very much moss eaten.
I'm gonna, while we're walking, I'm gonna, knock on the wall and say, "See, Ilmenor? Perfectly fine. Goblin craftsmanship. Told you."
Yes, this looks perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I can look up what the proceeding going. Yeah,
Sturdy as the day it was built, I'd say. Kova, don't go too far ahead. I'm not that fast.
Alrighty. So you have a choice. You have the stairwell leading down, and then you have a corridor that continues straightish, and kind of straightish on the left, and then you've got another corridor that leads 90-degree-ish on the right.
Do you guys want to clear this level first and then go down?
I have a feeling that when Dolius would have said that, Kova would have stopped. Done a sneaky stop. Gone down low. Gone on her tiptoes. And then it's just kind of crab walking along to let him catch up.
Thanks.
But she's not being sneaky at all. Along the way, she's going, did it? Along the walls. And whenever there's a pillar that's in the way, she's going behind the pillar and then popping out the other side, going, yeah. And then going to the next one.
I may need to explain this better to her in future.
Good job, Kova. Very stealthy.
With the extreme non-stealth and over-enthusiastic perceptions of Kova leading the way, once again I raise the question, do you want to head down in the stairwell, or do you want to head left straightish, or do you want to head rightish?
Enil, what do you say?
I don't like heading down. I think we should clear from top to bottom.
I think down is good, but I do think we should clear this level first so nothing comes into our backs, just in case.
Yes, I completely agree.
All right.
Want to start off from the right
Right or
then?
the left? All right. Shall I take the lead just in case? Kova? I mean, unless you want to take the brunt of anything that comes our way.
I'll watch the rear at least.
All right.
Okay, so Kova,
And to the right.
Warriors, Enil, then Ilmenor.
Yes.
Okay. Kova, as you travel down the right fork of your options, you head for about 30 feet along a very warped hallway. The hallway itself seems to slip at an oblong angle downwards into the earth. The flooring itself also slanted to mean that as you walk, you're having to put your hand on the wall, otherwise you'll start brushing up against it quite heavily. You eventually come to a 90-degree intersection. The left-hand most you can see leads up outwards, and you can see the sky above. Perhaps where part of the building this section has cracked off of, and that section has fallen over from, and then to your left you can see another. It opens up into a large chamber. All of its pieces and whatever was in here, along with a reasonable level of water, has slowed into that back corner.
Water!
What's the matter, Kova?
She's clapping again, like really fast, and then realizing no one
Stop
else is clapping with her, and then she's just gonna
Hmm.
go towards the water.
But when she starts clapping, can I try to stop her? Like clap
you
on
go
her
to
hand.
stop her just as she goes and walks into the room.
Oh God.
What have you not found?
The interior of the room seems to have swelled with rot and decay. The water has warped every piece of wood and furnishings that this room once held. Along the walls you can see sconces that have long since burnt out, some of them rusted through entirely, chains that have now become solid in recesses on the floor, and a number of wooden furnishings such as tables, chairs, and other accoutrements, including a chest, that are entirely submerged in the water. On the
Yes.
east wall, you can see two bronze reliefs that have been inset into the wall that are connected by a long bar. It seems to be in well order. Only a few strands of golden thread dangle from what once might have been a tapestry. The hearth itself seems to be fairly well maintained, but you can see that it has long since gone out.
Alright.
I'm just gonna go on the chest.
Okay.
Kova, hold on.
Kova skips over to the water with a splash. She delves into it up to her knees and starts fumbling and knocking things over in her enthusiasm to get to the chest she can see slid into the corner.
Cover's locked.
Misclick. Sorry.
I'm just gonna completely, go fully into the water and look around and see if there's anything in the water itself.
Like I say, it's most of the stuff here, the furnishings of the room have slid into here. You can see where a number of tangled fibres now lie, along with broken barrels, pieces of table, the chairs that are all at odd angles with various parts of them sticking out of the water, and this footlocker chest.
She's gonna come back up with a mouthful of water and then put both of her hands, slap it against the cheeks, and spit water out at the rest of the pie.
We're still standing in the opening of the doorway.
Yeah.
You,
Do not doubt how far Cova can spit.
You splashed and maybe that's
I'm gonna just start dragging the chest over to everybody else.
Alright.
Right?
The chest is fairly large, and I need you to make an athletics check, Kova.
You need some help, Kova?
No!
Alright, suit yourself.
20. Dirty 20.
You heave with all of your might against the chest, but it does not budge.
You sure, Kova?
you might as well go help her, Dolly. It's like, what are you gonna? What else?
Alright, fine. And I'll go
she
over
might
and...
throw a hand at him, that's why.
Oh. He's not wrong, okay, Anil. I walk
yeah.
over and I try to help her.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Alright.
Can
I
I
can
do
do this.
it? Can I do the same as my
Alright! No,
Sure.
16. God damn it.
Okay.
Well, shit.
18.
16 and an 8.
And then a couple of bubbles break the surface next to Kova and Wallace, and the chest does not move.
JC, may I please check if the chest is attached to something? Maybe like the wall?
Certainly. You move over, one of them will have to get out of the way so you can roll your perception. Actually, that's be an investigation. That's be an investigation.
I accidentally rolled. Ignore that one.
Can I try and get the lock
24?
with a hand?
24. You look around and you spot that the chest seems to be not lying against the exterior walls.
So it's standing upright by itself.
It
could be by the base.
Kova, we can do it. Come on. Put your back into it. Let's go. All three.
It doesn't look that terrifying.
How? Natural one. As Dolius goes to pull, you guys hear like pop. And Dolius goes,
Pop. Splash.
I'm gonna roll Dolius's back with one of my dead troll hand. There.
As Dolius went, and everyone watches as he squats himself down, and even Emil, with his very gentle mage hands, goes, "I'm pretty sure you're meant to lift with the legs." And Dolius has, that chest was not moving.
can we open it here, guys? I can use my hammer.
May I just give it a try? And just we'll deal whatever the water touches?
I'll smack it with my hammer and my chisel.
That's not necessary.
Are you sure?
Sounds like a smart idea.
They have a lot of tools that can open
I
chests.
feel like this chest has challenged me.
If you must, go ahead and hit it.
You might as well let it, Ilum, give it a go first.
You mean Illuminor?
Illuminor,
Yeah.
yes.
Right. Since you guys are so persistent, I'll let you. If it doesn't work though, Illuminor, I'll beat it open. Yeah.
Naturally. It will have defied two of us and it should die.
Yes. Right.
I'll add the first check for traps.
Go ahead.
That's investigation, right?
Oh, that's smart.
Yes.
I win. That's trap free.
That'd be 19.
It is trapped.
Am I able to disable the trap in any way?
You can do if you roll a Dexterity Thieves Tools.
13.
13. You fiddle with the lock for a little bit, and suddenly a sharp pain wrenches through your hand as a dart spears out and into your palm. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Ah!
Are you okay?
It shot me!
Told you should have let me beat it.
Yep. 13 again.
Kova's clapping because he got hurt.
Go, but that's not nice.
I would recommend copy and pasting roll d20. You take 8 points of piercing and poison damage as a venomous dart wrenches into your palm, and it stings and it stings and it stings, and you pull your hand away and the dart has gone clean through your palm into the other side, and you can see where rusted. Ouch.
Ooh, that looks bad, Ilminor.
Yeah, I think that was old as well.
Here, let me get it out for you.
Yep.
I'll smack it with my hammer now, yeah?
Make a wisdom saving throw, Illuminor.
14.
You just about managed to resist the urge to scream.
Yep. Not the first sharp object with the hand, but still.
All right. You're good though, yeah. Like,
We'll see.
if it's
Do you want
like,
to just hit it now?
The
I've got
bad.
ammunition anyway.
I'll grab out
Wait.
my
I mean,
chisel.
it's
Wait.
probably not. I will say that it's probably not trapped anymore.
It's probably
Right, good.
ammunition.
Then it won't go
Wait.
off, and I beat the shit out of it with my smithing hammer that I have in my
Wait.
backpack.
Wait.
What?
Wait.
What's wrong, Cobra?
I'm gonna go around to the back of it, and I'm going to, like, the chest has back hinges, right? I'm gonna cast the cantrip Frostbite on the hinges to make it easier to break.
Should
I
I hit
like
these
that
though?
idea. I like that idea. And normally I would say, yes, great idea. However, Dolly, as you take out your chisel and your hammer and swagger up to it and about to put the chisel up to the lock, hammer raised, when suddenly you heard a and the entire half back of the chest is now concealed in ice from being underwater and being frostbitten.
What the fuck? Did I do that?
No,
Are you sure?
I think you can make ice magic by yourself.
Hey, yesterday I couldn't even detect stuff. And I... Cobra, was it you?
No.
Is she standing
you
by the crime?
Cobra, are you lying?
She's standing suspiciously close and now very obviously examining her tool hand.
So JC, what do I need to make a roll to see if I can break open the lock with my
Yes, you
smithing
do.
tool?
Yes,
What
you do.
what do I what
That
do
would
I
be
roll?
athletics.
Athletics, alright. Right,
You're
go.
not trying to finesse it open, you are trying to smash it open.
Bang! That didn't do it. Bang! 17?
One of these days.
For the sake of brevity,
Sorry.
He spends about 10 minutes hammering on this metal and wood chest, smashing into it, beating on the hinges, cracking the ice, chipping away at the lock before eventually his chisel goes through. He goes, yay! And you all hear the of something inside breaking.
Oh no! Can I open it?
I'm casually nursing my hands.
You flip the lid open, and inside you see that whatever liquid once was held in a rather large glass vial is now leaked and within and now distilled by the water that has flooded into this chest. You also see a number of other small leather items, and at the bottom of the chest you find a rod about 1.5 feet in length with a button on it. The button seems to be depressed right now.
I'll take the leather items and the rod out of the chest.
You pick up the leather items, no problem, and watch them disintegrate before your eyes.
Oh
You do find another 2 smaller glass vials within the chest as you pull out the leather wrappings. However, as you go and try and pull the rod out, you can't get your fingers underneath it, and no matter how hard you try, the rod is just stuck there.
There was a button on it, right?
Button, press,
Yep.
press.
Alright, I'll press it.
You hear
Bang.
a loud crack of thunder,
Yeah.
and
fuck
you
was
manage to
that?
remove the rod.
I look at the rod and I say, did I do that?
Did you taunt the skies?
I drop it.
It
Now I'm gonna
drops
pick
into
up
the water.
the rod.
That wasn't
Picks
me.
up the rod.
I'm gonna put it on my tummy and press the button.
Wait.
Lengthways or pointy ways?
Wait. First off,
Along, like length.
Okay, you press the button and push it up against your stomach, and it stays there.
Yeah.
can I roll Arcana on that
Yes, you can.
to see if there's anything magic about it?
I'm
Don't
gonna
do that.
put my tummy out.
I'm not a mage here, Enil, but I would say.
No, as in like what kind of magic? I rolled a 12.
It
Kova's
is
gonna.
transmutation, and with your knowledge of magic, you can guess that this is an immovable rod.
She's gonna put a
thought
tummy
so.
out and wiggle it so we can look at it.
It doesn't move. Once you press the button, it stays where it is.
No, I meant my tummy.
Her
She's shaking
silver-scaled
it.
belly wiggles like a fish doing a mating dance, and you're slightly concerned.
What the hell,
Charlie, is
Kova?
this a cultural
I mean-
thing?
I really don't know, Ilmanar. It's disturbing. Kova, please stop it. JC, these two glass bottles, small glass bottles, can I determine what is in them?
Roll an Arcana.
Arcana, I got this. Don't worry. Dwalias, the master of magic, is about to swoop
It's full
in
of
with a
explodium.
15.
Regular healing potions, 2 of them.
Oh, nice. Sweet. Guys, I got 2 healing potions. I'm gonna just take one, because, you know, I seem to be the front line. Who wants the other one? No takers? I'll take both. If you
I'm
don't
gonna
want
point at Eliminar and go weak.
Thank you,
Elmore,
Kova.
here you go.
I'll take it and casually pocket it. Whatever.
Yes.
Do you want broken glass shards as well, or
I don't think I can salvage that.
Broken glass. Oh, yeah.
you
What?
could attach it to your troll hand, use it as a
I'm
mace.
gonna do it. Yeah.
Oh no. Kova, I can make you a regular mace.
It made things worse.
I'm gonna pick up the glass shards and insert them inside the fingernails.
Okay, roll a D100 for me.
What?
Okay. 39.
39. Okay.
Mm.
The hand stays intact with the glass shards now in it.
It makes me yak a bit.
Kova, what the fuck?
It's an improvised weapon now. What can you say?
Oh,
Why would
God.
she need an improvised weapon?
Why
Ilmanar.
don't you need an improvised weapon?
She could attach it to her bear form.
Oh, she gone? Gone she?
I don't know. I've given up trying to understand Kova. She just
Yeah.
is.
She's a
She
weird one.
exists.
Kova, you're weird and disturbing sometimes, you know that?
She's just gonna really do a beam and smile and put a thumbs up.
I like to
And
imagine
then-
that Kova isn't lawful neutral or chaotic neutral. Kova is neutral chaotic.
I'm just gently chuckling in the corner.
Right, shall we move on? See, what
Can
we
I
can find
check
downstairs?
magic on the room first? And see if there's any.
Certainly. You cast Detect Magic, and you get 4 little blips from inside the fireplace.
What?
You found something, Kova?
Yeah.
What are you a dog?
She can be.
What did you
Yeah,
find,
she's gonna
Kova?
look at you like you're a fucking you're an idiot.
Alright, I'm gonna return the exact same look.
And she's gonna go and skip over to the fireplace and look where she found the little beams of energy she found.
You reach up inside the fireplace on the underside of the sill, on the reverse side of it, and you pat around, feeling for your understanding of where this magic is coming from, and eventually find a small pouch. Pulling that and opening it up, you open up and find a red bead, blue bead, yellow bead, and a green bead.
Beads!
What?
She
What
said,
did you find?
She said bees.
Beads!
How are there bees in a sealed bag?
I don't think she said
In a
bees.
fireplace.
I think it's beads.
Beads!
Ah,
Can you show us, Kova?
I'm gonna lay them out in my hand and then.
Do we know what they are, JC? Do we need to roll something to find out what they are?
Probably need to roll to find out what they are, because
Right.
luckily they are colourful beads that
Yeah.
exude magic.
I'm
Right,
gonna roll an arcana.
Can I roll an investigation?
Oh, 20,
Investigation.
22.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ooh,
3.
I got a
very
six.
fine craftsmanship.
Dwalius picks up one of the beads and reaches into his back pocket as if trying to find something. And Dwalius, you've not got your jeweler's kit with you.
Yeah. This is definitely made by someone. As I put it back. Ilnor, do you know something?
I don't look into beads.
With the 20, what did you get for Arcana?
I was 23.
23 for Arcana.
So we're 22 or 23.
You look at them and notice that each bead is slightly different in shape, but craftedly so. You also notice that there are symbols engraved onto the front and back of each bead. Each symbol is different.
What's the symbols?
what do they represent?
You have no idea.
Ah! Can I try and roll something for the symbols?
Very beautiful beads there.
You kind of already got a pretty good roll. You
Okay.
personally have no idea what this could mean.
Can I
Can I try to make
can I
a
point
history
it towards the rest of the
One
party?
second there, Kova. Dwalius, go ahead.
Can I make a history check to see if I recognize what the symbols mean?
You
Well,
don't
wouldn't have
see
any-
the symbols.
You wouldn't have any knowledge of what it would mean, even if Kova had pointed them out to you guys.
Okay.
Can I point to the rest of the party and point at the symbols and go really close to each of the faces so they can see?
Oh, it's just a bit further away. Yeah, just there. Do I recognise the symbols?
Make an investigation.
Okay. 27.
You gather they are activization glyphs. This is the final piece in some form of complex combination, but you've no real idea what it could be the end of. Each one is a different word for activate, on, power, start.
Okay. So these are activization glyphs. Is that how you pronounce it?
Well, activization, either which way.
Okay. These are activization glyphs.
What does that mean particularly?
They start stuff. Very simply, these are probably the end of a complex combination. Generally, they are. There's the initial part, and then it gets. Then I don't know. Yeah.
I think I understand. We're missing bits of it, is what you're saying.
Yes, this is not complete, but these are for activation. Activation, using the activation glyphs. That's a tongue twister.
All right.
Where's the water coming from, JC?
The water hasn't really come from anywhere as such. It's just a simple case of you're not far off the low water mark of the river nearby, and know that the water has probably gathered here from the rain over however long this place has been slid and sinking like this.
This is standing water.
There's a hole in the ceiling as well.
Probably where it came from then.
One would assume.
It's about my size for a hole.
I'm gonna put the beads away and I'm gonna put them in my bag.
Okay.
Shall we continue on?
What?
Alright.
Back where we came. Go left
Yeah.
this time.
Yep.
Okay, you head leftward this time and you come into what might have once been some form of barracks or a kitchen or something of that nature. There's a number of places where things would be hung up. This is obviously a place where things would be created. There's a large open expanse where either bed mats or beds proper could have been laid down, or shelves that would have held goods, but again, they all seem to have long since dwindled into nothingness.
I doubt whatever this wizardy person was lived here at least. Most tend to have better accommodations.
Food!
I wouldn't eat anything in this room. It's
No,
probably
I
not
really
right.
Yeah, the only things in this room are a couple of crates that seem to be growing mold in their own right, along with a hempen sack at the back corner.
Oh, what's in the sack?
You open it up and are met with a cloud of dust. Whatever was in here has desiccated to nothingness.
Is there still dust in the bag?
Reasonably so, yeah.
Ah! I'm gonna tie that around my arm.
Okay.
She's got like a floating device.
That won't last long. It's got holes in it. It's a hemp sack.
Yeah, but it's
I'm gonna wrap it up in another sack that doesn't have holes in it, of course.
but
Logical.
Alright.
I mean, it will hold it for enough time. Like it's just a help.
I'm gonna
It
face plant.
strikes you suddenly that the entire room seems to have a thin layer of this dust on it. And strikes you
That's
as
weird.
odd considering that the room tilt, the room slant, probably wouldn't allow for the dust to maintain its very blanketed level across this place. And also, it's very gritty.
That's weird.
Kova's gonna go up to one of the walls and wipe her finger down it and lick the dust.
Okay, you wipe your finger across it and reveal a very smooth, almost mirror-like sheen to the wall. And as you lick the dust, it is granular and cuts slightly at your tongue.
Gova, that's probably not healthy.
That's
dust.
not a normal wall, though, is it?
No dust. No, no dust.
Can I sort of just
Dust.
start removing some of the dust, try and find like a door or just different, like remove most of the dust from the walls?
Certainly make an investigation.
That'll be a 20.
You run your hand across the wall a couple times, clearing off patches of the dust, but it's on one of these passes that as you swipe away the dust in one direction, it's as if there's a hairline fracture in the wall. As you bring your hand back the other way, again, there's that, as if the dust has been impressed into an incredibly thin hairline crack.
It doesn't seem like a natural sort of crack in a wall. It seems like
The whole wall
Made?
is mirror polished. Like this, whatever stone this is made out of, it has been polished to this level of reflective sheen for a reason. And yet there's this one long, thin line from the edge of where your hand is swiped to the bottom of where your hand is swiped.
I'm just going to draw one of my daggers and sort of start prying at it.
Okay? You Everyone catches Illuminor beginning to pry at the edges of something in the wall, and as he does so, you can see that as he's prying at it and moving the dagger up and down along this line, it goes from about 8 feet up down to the floor.
Is that a door, Illuminor?
Might be. It's
Here,
quite
I'll
a
help
big
you
door.
uncover it. That's. Do you see a keyhole or something?
Not that I've been able to remove dust so far. I've found this seam in the wall.
Can I help him remove all of the dust?
Yeah, can I use my decanter of endless water and start trying to get rid of the dust?
Certainly,
Just
with
spray it
Cobalt's
down.
help literally spraying it off, you reveal the wall to be beautifully mirror smooth in this black slate. You can all see in the night. No, everyone can see in the night. I think everyone's got dark vision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty. I double check on the Triton. I'm not sure about the Triton, but I'll take your word for it. But yeah, this beautifully smooth slate wall. But if it wasn't for the fact that Illuminor's already kind of like pried at it and he's left his dagger stuck in the wall, you wouldn't have noticed it. But yeah, there's definitely a seam there that runs from, again, as high up as he can reach all the way down to the floor. Ow.
Can I press against it? See. No.
You press against it and it's firm. You press your cheek against it.
Can I knock on it and listen to it and see if it's hollow on the other side?
Indeed. As you knock on it and and press your ear against its surface, you can definitely tell it's hollow, but it's thick. This is a thick door of some sort.
This is I don't think we'll be able to easily open it, but there definitely seems to be something on the other side of it. It's a hollow space at least.
Try and find the other seam if it's a door that have two seams at least.
Well, I would hope so. And I take out one of my hand axes and start like running it across the wall until it catches a seam.
Yep. You catch it again, and it's about 8 feet across.
Do we feel any
No.
sort of locks on both the seams as we go up and down it?
You're only able to get the razor's edge of your weapons into the seams, so you can't really feel anything in there. And again, it's been very well fitted into this recess, and as you're running your items up and down it, again, it's going as high as you can reach and down to the floor. So
I sort of look at everyone. Would you mind standing back, please? I have a way of opening this.
All right.
I'm sort of just going to go into my bag and sort of pull out this sort of set of chimes out of one of the bag pockets and just sort of gently hit them once to activate its ability to open the door.
okay, with your chime of opening, ding, this kind of harmonic resonance rings out in the chamber before eventually the chime comes to a sudden abrupt halt, and this large slate item starts sliding away from you and downwards. Completely smooth, completely solid, just sliding away from you as if.
I guess smashing it wouldn't have helped much.
Probably not.
It slips down for about 10 feet before eventually coming to a halt. Again, this is at like a 45-degree angle. It is slid downwards.
Let's.
Do we see anything down there?
You can see that there is an opening to the left and right of where
Can I-
this thing is going to.
Can I look for traps in the corridor?
Certainly, make an investigation.
All right. Oh, not a minus. Wow. Not that. Oh my god. Why is it on English? Stop it. 17.
You have a look, and you do not spot any traps as such.
I don't see anything, Ilminor, but considering, the hand that you got dealt, shall I take the lead?
Yes. Do you want to go left first?
Yeah. And I'll start descending into the hallway.
I'm sorry about the chime's loud sound. I can't stop that.
It was a beautiful sound, to be honest. It's a very useful item. I was surprised you had something like that.
I have a few items that come in handy.
Yeah, you do seem rich, to be honest. I mean, just saying.
Birth gives many opportunities.
What?
In the chamber you step with that rather confusing statement, that oxymoron of a statement, and as you
What?
enter into this large room, wall sconces illuminate of their own volition. Ironclad and braziers mark the four corner walls. Inside you see a large circular chamber. Maybe not circular chamber, you see a large circular depression, a number of tiers leading down this depression before it comes to a central point, what seems to be an ornate water feature in the centre, though there is no water flowing in it currently. The wall sconces, the room is perhaps a 40 foot by 40 foot near perfect square, and this segment of wall that was 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet by 8 feet has slid back and has come to rest at the top of one of these, at the top of this plinth area.
Wow,
This isn't normal for a barracks, is it?
this is amazing. The
Being one, so
shit. You'd almost think a dwarf had made this.
I didn't know
What?
that such magical ability.
Before Kova goes in with the rest of them, she's gonna break the crates and see what was in the crates.
Mouldy ass food.
Yeah! She's gotta take some of that moldy ass food.
Oh,
Okay then.
Alright, I'm gonna head down into the room towards the depression.
Okay.
Slowly.
There is about 8 tiers to this depression, each one about 5 feet in width. The circular depression, each tier dipping down before you eventually come to this large ornate water feature in the centre. It itself is made up of 4 tiers, with its topmost tier seeming to be a cradle of some sort. 4 little marks, 4 little almost like ring. How a ring would hold a gemstone sit on this crown-like apparition on the top. The whole thing is about 16 feet tall.
Alright, Ilmanor just shot me a message saying he's got dinner. 10
No
minutes,
problem.
10-ish minutes. He'll be back, just so you know. Alright. So it's a very beautiful fountain-ish kind of thing in the middle, right?
Seems to be like that. It's as you get closer, though, the mosaic on it seems to show rolling elements, a broiling mass stone that seems to be shattering under the weight of an inferno, or perhaps it's a frothing mass of water. And yet you see a hurricane lifting and spiraling in this tsunami of fire. It's a very... You're looking at it, you feel your eyes getting pulled as your vision is trying to be drawn in 4 or 5 directions all at once, and you have to blink a few times to get your eyes to refocus properly.
That's impressive.
Is there anywhere that has weird places where the beads can be placed upon? Like, placed inside or anything like that? That Kova can see.
Make a perception.
Okay. 18.
18.
Mm.
4 beads. 4 elements.
sorry, skipping my dog inside.
That's okay. 4 beads. 4 elements. 4 tiers. And at the top of it, 4 little cradles.
Would they fit that? Oh. Go for it, see if they fit.
X-Card, should we wait till Ryan gets
Yeah.
back to do this, maybe?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
We could do an
maybe.
early break.
I think that's probably a good idea. We'll go and take a quick break now, considering two of our members have to go off and rush off to do other things, and we will be back when they return. Probably say, what time is it now? We'll give them 5 minutes to return, and we'll go on from there. So keep an eye out for us returning, but we'll give it at least 5 minutes before we return. So see you shortly. And oh, jeez.
I'm gonna go and get my dinner.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us as various members had dinner obligations and pet problems, but we are back. And as the party of intrepid adventurers, as yet unnamed, has moved their way into this obsidian chamber of some sort, with this relief in the center and some form of water feature. Though the party is beginning to deduce that perhaps a water feature is not all it is intended to be.
All right, Gova. Let's try to see if those gems fit. Yeah.
I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna put the gems inside the little cradles that you said.
Alrighty. So, as Kova clambers up and climbs the spired construct, she reaches into the pouch that's stored all the different beads, taking them out and begins placing them into each cradle. At first, there is no response, no reaction. And then suddenly a little bit of water dribbles out the top of the water feature and begins following along this very intricately carved structure, this art piece of whatever it is. As the water flows down and passes the first realm of its boundaries, as it moves, this very blue, almost crystalline, luminous form of water moves inside these recesses. It spiderwebs out to create this frothing, foaming sea. The water then continues down to the next phase and it begins to burn and suddenly becomes fire. It's blooming as this beautiful rose of flame, and this tempesting tornado swirls around underneath the water, though the water itself does not evaporate. Next up you see lines of gold and silver, molten and wet, as if tears from an angel begin moving down the third tier, and finally the fourth tier, a billowing wind, dust particles in silver, pink, purple, lilac, and ultraviolet bloom out and begin to fill the chamber, moving up the tiers one after another, and suffusing the entire chamber in this ethereal, otherworldly light.
Whoa. That's beautiful.
Not what you would expect from a barracks.
I don't think these are
Can
barrels.
all of you make Constitution saving throws?
Oh gosh, here we
Oh
go.
no.
Oh,
That is. Oh my god, that number's so small. Come on now.
13.
Alright.
come on, roll 20.
I got 15.
Go, go, go! 22, yay! I'm good. I've been drinking all day.
I got a 5.
Dwayne,
I'm not-
Should never refuse my ale, man. Should never refuse my ale.
The room lurches suddenly underneath your feet, Dwalius. And as you stagger and come to one knee, one hand, and one foot, making you an unsteady and ungainly tripod, you look around to see the rest of your companions are just standing there as if nothing has happened, frozen and solid, attached to the floor. Each of them on different tiers of the mosaic. The tiers begin to rotate around and around and around, and you are buffeted back and pushed into the center next to this moving piece of whatever it is. And as the others continue to spin faster and faster, you see them in a blur, each of them going one left, one right, then the next one left, and the tiers all around you begin to spiral, begin to comb over, this lightning bolts reaching out and zapping into the 4 elemental gems that crisscross and intersect the height of this pillar. And suddenly, with an unearthly boom, you are lifted high into the air, you strike the lightning, and you are rendered unconscious from it.
Ah!
You all come to consciousness.
Oh, my
Lying
head.
atop, you all come to consciousness as one, to the sound of birds cawing. Tropical birds twittering, the humidity making you sticky and making the feeling underneath your clothes as if you've been dragged through salt. You're dehydrated. All of you have 3 points of exhaustion. And as you come around and look around at your features, you ain't in Kansas anymore, folks.
Guys, I don't want to be a party pooper, but are you seeing this too?
Is it sunny or is it nighttime?
Seems to be fairly sunny, though you don't exactly see where the sun is coming from.
Was it night?
It wasn't. Yeah,
This is weird.
and there's no storm
Sorry.
clouds here.
I mean, where the hell are we? Can
The
I
ground
take a look at
underneath you is ashy. This black sand to the touch. You can smell cinders in the air, and again, there's a lot of light, a reddish glow of a dying sun. Clouds, certainly.
Are we in a different world? Are we in a different realm? What happened? Enil!
Did we see the fountain?
You do not.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Enil, you know magic. What happened?
Uh.
Where did we go?
I'm scrambling. I try and detect. Are we in a magical area at the moment? Like is it like a projection, a magical projection, or are we actually, or have we actually teleported?
You touch the ground and it feels real. You dig your fingers into the ground and you can feel it begin to burn slightly at the fingertips. You look around and you don't see any forest beyond that of a dried and much withered landscape. The mountains are ragged and highly peaked.
Jesse, does it feel like we've moved planes by any chance? Like crossed over a port or something like that? From past experience?
You definitely feel as if you're in a different location. Yes.
We definitely moved somewhere.
Oh.
So is it just like sand around us, and is it like a beach?
No, it's not a beach. It's black. It's black sand, as in
Is it like charred
whatever
land?
was once here has been severely charred. Volcanic ash has rained down, and whatever was left of the landscape is now buried in this stuff.
Do we see an end to the ashiness?
You can see mountains in the distance. The air is clear. It's not clouded. It's not smog or smoke filled. It's just everything that you can see up on the ground is black.
Should we take a walk around? See if we...
Can I
I feel up moving around that much.
can I put my finger on the ground and put it to my mouth? Does it taste the same as the dust?
No, but a good thinking. This has a much more charcoal, acrid feel to it. The other stuff was much grittier.
Did anything else in that room come with us? Like the beads, the water?
You don't say anything else. Not from your immediate surroundings. Make a perception.
It's a disadvantage, isn't it?
got 3 points of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Everything's at disadvantage.
13.
13. Looking around, you try and figure out where you are, what's going on. And again, you've got the blanket of this black sand that stretches out for as far as the eye can see. You notice what might have been a forest once is long since burnt out and dried out. The petrified faces held within the bark are gaunt and distraught. The branches themselves seem to have curled up on themselves as if trying to hide themselves away from an overbearing sun. The mountains in the distance, a large string of them rising from a very steep point of origin off into the horizon and dip over the crest. The sun overhead, as I said, is not visible. There are clouds in the sky. You can see the black edges of them. The clouds themselves seem to be orange, but you don't gain any semblance of a sun.
I think you guys know what time it is.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Cry. Cova just bursts out crying.
Oh.
Dolius!
Yes. What's wrong, Kova? Why are you crying?
There's no water.
What? Kova, I can't understand you. Please use words.
Water! None! None water!
I have some water. Do you need water?
You all need water.
I have a bit of water. I have like a one water skin.
Yeah, do we actually have our equipment? Is that a good thing to ask?
You have all your equipment.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Can I drink some water?
You have water, if
From
I'm
your
not mistaken.
bottle of endless water, what sort
I
of
mean-
stream do you create?
Should be the geyser.
Why did you cry to me for water, Kova? You have that thing.
Not drink. No water. And Kova gestures to around her.
Oh, no water to swim in. Is that what you... I mean, it seems very burned out, so... Maybe it will rain.
And with that, Kova takes around this decanter of water and just tips it and allows the water to flow from the decanter onto the sand. What happens?
Mhm. I mean, it hisses a little bit and then begins to turn to mud. The slow pull as you tip this kind of crystal bottle over, unscrewing the cork and pouring it out, the venting water hits the ground and a plume of steam rises up before eventually it seems to settle and cool whatever it has come into contact with. As the water continues to pool out over this area, spreading out fairly rapidly in this basin or plateau, the sandy granules absorb it hastily, though become quickly overwhelmed by the viscosity of the liquid and turning into a quagmirish mud. Brown, thick, gloopy. Probably very good for throwing at people, Kova.
Don't eat that one.
JC, are we in a valley currently, sort of thing? Is that why it's a
Not
basin?
really a valley as such, no. It's much more of a plateau, though you can see where depressions run through this plateau.
Alright.
Kova's gonna slap her hand down in the mud, bring it up. She's gonna point it towards the mountain and go, "Hey, look over there! There!
Yeah, that's a mountain.
And then whilst Eliminor is turned and looking at the mountain, she's gonna come round behind him and just slap her muddy handprint all over his face.
I could use my what's it called? What's uncanny dodge? Yeah.
I dodged the mud.
I take half the mud damage.
Half of the mud sticks to you, the other half flies by.
Was this
You
material?
see a number of creatures or a number of dots suddenly arrive on the horizon where Kova was pointing.
What's that? Ilmar, what do your elven eyes see?
Can I try and make out better detail with my
Can we all?
better than average perception?
Certainly make a
Okay.
perception check.
I'm gonna join him in the perception. 14!
Oh, can I?
No,
do
you need to roll an
something?
advantage on it.
Oh yeah.
20.
Oh, that's very true. Hold on.
Bless me, sorry.
Right, natural 20 on my disadvantage.
You got a 14 though.
2 natural
Ah.
20s and disadvantage.
Exactly when you want
No.
it.
No, he got
Why?
a 14.
Yeah, I got a 14.
I got a 20.
That's why I was mad.
I see all.
Of course, you get your natural 20 when you have
Yeah.
the disadvantage.
Yeah,
Of course.
it'd
The
be
one I
how
get.
Okay. You glance out at whatever they are, and how to describe them? They seem to be humanoid, as in that they walk on a single set of legs. However, it's as if the creature has become weighed down with its own misery. The head has shrunk down into its shoulders, and its skin is a greyish, pallid feature that hangs off of its bones. It walks ungainly on these legs that pierce into the ground somewhat. As it staggers around with its compatriots, you can see a long trail of something it's dragging behind it.
Do I recognize these from my backstory?
I don't see why you would. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what your backstory
Fair
would
enough.
be.
I was been the Shadowfell for a while. That's how that's that Shadow.
You recognize them to an extent. One of them you recognize far more than the others. Well, that creature seems to be the larger and leading this little procession of whatever they are. The ones behind it stand out, for they're almost arachnid in style, though they walk on 2 legs with 4 arms ending in long serrated talons. They're from elbow down to hand, or where hand should be, there's nothing but one long, barbed, penetrating, pincer-like appendage. This creature has 4 of them, and again, where the other one seems to have lost its overlarge bulk and now its skin hangs off of itself, this creature seems to have shrunk, its skin now clanging and clawing, pulling tight against the skin, where you can see its ribs and its hips and its neck, the skeleton underneath it.
Guys, this is not good. Are they only coming from that direction, JC?
They're the ones you spotted because Kova was the one pointing in that direction.
I quickly look around us. Are there any more of these dots coming from different directions?
You don't see them coming towards you, but you see dots on the horizon now that you're looking for them. Little blemishes against the blood sky.
What's wrong,
Hey.
Eleanor?
I think they might have surrounded us. And these things aren't good. I think
What are
it's
they?
hard to tell.
Oh, you can't see?
Deformed humanoids, sort of. If I can describe it.
I take out my great sword and hold it in one hand while I prepare a throwing axe in the other. Does that mean battle?
I don't know. everyone get down on the ground. See if they are actually
Is there
coming towards us.
Is there anywhere to hide?
The mud.
Like I said, there's the forest, whatever remains of it.
Alright, let's go try to
They're
hide.
on somewhat
Yep.
of a plateau at the moment.
Yeah. We'll probably slide into the forest. Just hide in or climb the trees, I guess. What's left of it.
Cover's gonna slap into the mud and pretend to be it.
I'm going to start making my way towards the forest.
What are you going to do, Kova?
I'm gonna slap myself in the mud, roll myself in it, and then hide myself in it.
She's gonna lay on the
Roll
fucking.
stealth then.
I'm gonna.
6.
6. You wallow in the mud, but again, the mud is only about an inch or so thick. And you are a bit thicker than an inch. The rest of you begin moving at whatever speed you can towards the stand of
I think it's
trees.
half our normal.
Clover, we can see you.
The trees
Amazing.
should have been coniferous rather than dudiceous. They are long-limbed and broad at the base, though, as I said, these long limbs have curled into themselves as the environment they now find themselves in has drained them of whatever life they once held. They are crutched over and curled over as if shielding themselves from an overbearing sun.
Cova, come on! Don't lie in the mud!
Fine, I'll go with them.
While we're heading towards the wooded area, the creatures we see follow us, as far as we can tell, or are they getting closer?
They're a couple of miles away because you can see the horizon. Like,
Right.
looking around, you can see the curve of the horizon. So these things are a long way off. You doubt they're following you. You're just seeing things on the horizon because you can see for miles.
Okay.
You move between the trees and eventually coming into what seems to be a structure. Definitely deliberately built and sentient made. It's not the tunnel or burrow of some large creature. This has been barricaded off at the front with a number of plates overlapping, and the sedimenty sandstone that it has been made into rises up from the centre of these trees. The trees themselves don't quite thin, but they don't quite thicken either. They remain at a fairly even spread. As I said, this probably was once a forest before it, whatever befell it.
Does the structure look somewhat recent?
The metal on it looks clean. That's the only thing I can really give you as a description.
It's still barricaded.
It's been closed off, yeah, as if trying to stop things from getting inside. It's not locked. It's just things have been moved over the opening.
Sorry, I've got to go now. I've got an exam
problem.
tomorrow. Shit, so
Not a
It's been a
problem. Well, thank you for joining us, and I'll let the others tell you what happens next time.
thank you. Please keep my character
Bye.
alive.
We'll see what we can do.
No problem.
um,
Can you see inside, Eleanor?
Can
I
I
thought
knock
they were
on
really
the
scared.
door?
You knock on it, and as you knock, one of the large pieces of flat metal, corrugated iron, if you will, as you knock on it, it rises up on one side. You can see there's a number of other pieces that have just been pushed into, or like been brought up from the inside to close off this way, so that if one of them were to fall over, there are still another couple behind it.
pretty smart. I don't know about here either.
Does anybody knock back?
No.
Should we go inside?
Take effort to open it up, doesn't it?
Probably,
start?
but do you want to stay out here? Should we keep going?
I'd rather be inside, probably.
I mean,
Do you see any windows?
No, it is a burrow. It leads underground.
let's try to move it.
Okay. It's not difficult with coordination and understanding how to move the plates. You can either slip past them or move the ones that are required to be moved out of the way for each of you to get through.
I'll try and slip past them.
Yep.
At least I'm intact.
It's very easy and very quickly becomes much cooler than the surface. Here, you can feel the air is calm, it's still, it's refined, whereas before it was ashy, it was gritty. Breathing in through your mouth made your tongue, which currently feels like cotton wool in your mouths, you could get this film on it. In here, as you breathe it in, it's clear, it's clean, it's fresh. And you can see a flickering fire dancing its way up the tunnel towards you.
Hello?
Wait, it's coming up towards us.
As in, like, there is a fire and the firelight is flickering and dancing up towards you.
Oh, okay. It wasn't heading towards us.
No.
Right.
Can we go to it?
Certainly. You move your way down, and when you're about 60 or so feet out from the gentle curve that leads into this room, you can hear a number of voices talking quietly to one another.
Sort of gesture of my hand, my lips with the shush sign. What language is it in? Can we tell?
It's in common, but it's as if they're speaking Shakespearean.
Can we sort of tell what creature's sort of voice it is? Is it like an elvish sort of voice, or is it human?
There's no real way to determine that.
Yeah.
Common is common.
Fair enough.
Accents change depending on region rather than by race. The language
Fair enough.
changes by race. The gist of what they're talking about is movements, about trying to get to the citadel, about the mountains still hold safe passage for those that can reach it, and the other person is bitter, definitely bitter, and angriness to them that they've been travelling for so long now and they've lost so many. What is even the point anymore? The sky itself seems to have abandoned them. They've won.
Can I peer around and see what kind of creatures they are?
Indeed, you peer around and it is a hodgepodge collection of people. Two of them seem to be sitting as if on watch, while maybe as much as a dozen, up to perhaps 20 others, slumber in fitful states of sleep. Most of them seem to be wearing scavenged armour. A lot of them are wearing pieces of chainmail linked with parts of half-plate. Some of them are wearing leather, and others are just wearing thick padded hides and robes. They seem to be vagabond survivors of something. Inside, most of the people seem to be of any walk of life. The two that are talking, one of them is a gnome, and the other one is a dragonborn.
Polius,
Yeah.
we let ourselves be known. Try and get Grover back here.
Go back. Come back. Go back.
Huh? What?
Oh God. Come back here. Should we go in? Say hello. Be friendly, or
Might as well.
Say hello! And with that,
stop,
Kobe just
stop,
walks
stop.
in.
Yep.
Go to stop. As she walks in, I'm trying to stop her, but like getting dragged in, going, hold on.
The conversation inside quickly stops, and you hear the rapid movements of many people rising. As Kova, you traipse through the entranceway, for there is no better word than traipse. You see a number of people, weapons partially or readying to be armed, and those two that were at the fire are charging towards you, though they pull up short the second that they see you.
Kova. Hello?
Greetings.
What the being your purpose is here?
Can't you see? I am a dwarf.
That does not answer the question.
We don't know
Being
where
your
we are.
purpose is here.
We don't know where we are. We just arrived on the plane no more than an hour ago.
I need you to
And-
make charisma saving throws.
Okay.
Charisma?
Right, it's a disadvantage, by the way.
Yes.
You said charisma though, right?
Yeah.
Charisma.
Gosh. It's the 4.
16.
19!
Okay. Dwalius, you are compelled to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you this spell. As the
All right.
Dragonborn reaches for a symbol around their neck and you feel this wave come across you, the other two, well, we'll see how it goes.
I'm going to willingly give in to the spell. And I'm going to go, there's no need for magic.
You don't know what spell it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm fucking hungry. I need some booze.
Dragonborn says in Draconic. Does anyone speak Draconic?
Nope.
You.
He gestures towards Dwalius and says something in Draconic. After 6 seconds, the other two need to make charisma saving throws.
Wait, want us to do it now?
Yeah.
You look like a fine fella.
Go ahead.
Well, I rolled
10.
a 2. There's no bother.
Nobody's lying today.
10?
Given your state, and given that this spell lasts for how long it lasts, and each turn or each round you can make a save against it, I'm just going to say that it's up to you. If you want to try and lie, then you make the save. Otherwise, we'll just say what's going on as is. But he gestures towards Dwalius, and the other individual steps forward. State your business. Side being you on, which, and nary my say, let the gods be willing.
Lost? Side I'm on. Mine? What was the last one?
He turns around and says something, and another person, a dwarf this time, steps forward. Oh wait, no, he wasn't dwarf, he was no. A dwarf steps forward and speaks in Dwarvish, which is a better and less altered language, though again you can tell that this is an older dialect of it. He asks you, which side are you on, and which side do you call fealty to?
I'm gonna look at him and say, this might be a weird question, but what is the date in Dwarvish?
He furrows his brow at you and says, this is 708 GP.
You're gonna have to help me out here real quick, JC. Isn't that a lot earlier than where
It is
from?
you're from PGP 1587. This guy is at 707 GP.
Oh.
So we're like 800 years ahead of him. Is where I'm from. All right.
No, you're about 2,200 years ahead of him.
Yeah.
All right. I look at him with a bit more confusion. I go, "Oh, that shouldn't be right."
He
I go-
signals and the others begin closing in around you.
What's this? There's no need for violence.
JC, what was
You are
happening
with
around?
us or you are against us.
Well, what side are you on?
The only side that matters and gives a choice.
is that?
Make a... Illuminor.
Is this still in Dwarvish?
Illuminor, you can... Now, he's switched back to Colin.
Okay.
As he's looking to all of you. Illuminor, you as a gentried individual can probably ascertain that he's talking about, are you with the God Plague? Which side of the God Plague are you on?
I know, but dwelling.
We're not from this time. It's complicated. I just gestured to my chest, and there's a symbol of Sahane on there. I support this god.
The group looks at the Dragonborn, and the Dragonborn looks perplexed. As if, why is what you're saying the truth, even though it's insane?
It's a fountain.
We were exploring a ruin,
Fountain.
activated some magical fountain, and then appeared exhausted
Here.
on a bit of ground covered in ash. We saw some weird creatures in the distance and just led to the forest.
In a slow, syllabic tongue, the Dragonborn steadily speaks. You say you are not from this time. Which time do you suffer from?
It's 15 TGP, did you say it was, Jason?
1500.
yes, you're in.
2,200 years from now.
1500
Yeah, so-
TGP.
You're about 1587. TGP.
Well over 2,000 years in the future. 1587. Though that last letters probably mean nothing to you.
And why do you find us here?
Like I said, we fell through some sort of portal, I assume, and this was the only structure we could see, and it's a lot cooler in here than outside.
As you say that, the gnomish individual jumps forward. Did you leading them to us, have you done?
Nothing followed us, I think.
You speak of
I can
certainty,
hear
let's not.
The creatures we saw in the distance, we couldn't tell where they were going. They were miles away from us.
He kind of glowers a little bit. Do you wish us harm? The Dragonborn
Nope.
asks.
Yep.
Nope.
No. I've never met any of you before.
Slowly, people are standing down as it is clear you do not mean hostile intent.
What?
I
Do I see
think,
any holy symbols?
You see a fair few holy symbols, yes.
What gods? Like, what side are they on? Can I tell?
You only recognize 4, though a lot of them seem
Okay.
to be wearing various forms. Bahamut on the Dragonborn.
Yeah.
The gnome is that of Glitter Gold. One of them is wearing what seems to be a very old representation of Sahanin, or Coralon,
Okay.
and the most predominant one is Tempest.
So you're holy habitat, right?
Yes.
God Plague.
Okay, good.
And they don't know
Right.
what happened.
We in the
Return
know.
to sleep, everybody. Everyone kind of... There's a bit of commotion as people jockey and shift, and there's a few people that are adamant about staying awake, and others that are very relieved to be able to go back to bed. You gather that most of these people are quite exhausted themselves. The Dragonborn and the gnome return to sitting around the fire, though it is very low and predominantly using for light than heat. And they beckon for you to sit.
Should,
Can I wash myself with my endless water to get the mud off?
Oh my god, what?
And I'm going to sit down and just sort of go over, not now.
Before I sit down, I like bow my head a tiny bit and say, "My name is Dwolius. Would you happen to have a name yourself, I assume?"
Gunriel. The Dragonborn rasps, and the gnome. Sorry. Oh, that's literally as he rasped, and the DM choked.
Accurate roleplay.
And the gnome is Dink.
Dink?
Okay.
Dink.
Yeah.
Dink. Alright. Oh,
I am Eliminor Morfarin. And over there is Kova.
that is Inil, but he doesn't say much.
Hello.
He's very tired.
Can I go to sleep?
Yeah, you can go to sleep.
He
If we're
finds
allowed.
a comfy bit of wall and promptly passes the fuck out on it.
Solve that problem.
Something surprises all of you though, as he goes and reaches for one of the fur blankets.
It disappears.
Hand went straight through it.
What?
I'll take out my blanket from my bag and give it to him. Does that change anything?
Yeah, he takes it, no problem.
Um,
Can I look at the blanket?
It was like a blanket. Dirty. Stained a little bit.
Can I try and put my hand on it?
Are we?
I'm going back! Something's flying! It's going away! Try and catch it again.
Kova, don't chase the blanket. Remember the cow?
What was the Dragonborn's name again?
Gunreel.
Gunril, may I try something, please? I'd like to shake your hand, see if it works.
He looks at you suspiciously. No.
I
You are new here and still under trusting.
Fair enough. Just, my friend can get passed for a blanket. We can't touch it.
Sit.
Of course.
Right?
And I'll sort of sit cross-legged on the floor.
I'll sit next to him.
I even take off my scarab from my sword and just put it in front of him.
Can I try walking into a wall?
Kova, come on. Sit down.
Over, come sit.
Come here.
Can I try walking to a table or something?
There are
Go,
no
Val.
tables in here.
It's
Is there
a
anything?
hovel.
Is there anything like chairs or
Nope.
or people
Nope.
that are standing up that I can just try and walk into,
We're not allowed to. Just go sit
What?
down.
walk through?
Kova, come here. And I'm gonna get up, walk over to Kova, grab her arm, and pull her towards
No.
the
I
I am stronger than you. You will come. Come on.
I'm trying to walk inside somebody.
Don't.
Roll
rude.
strength. Both of you roll a strength check.
All right.
I just set
will
my
be
hand
a
in my
12.
hand, my face in my hand.
13.
My strength's a 9. Hold on. I'm wondering if it's.
I rolled a 10 and an 8, but I didn't add my bonus to the roll
Okay.
yet. I got a +4, so it's 8 + 4. 12.
It's okay. I rolled a natural 20. And then I rolled an 11, which is really sad. I've got
Well, it's still
+2.
better than me, so apparently I'm going the wrong way now.
As Dwalius reaches up to grab hold of you. The mud that was upon your body seems to slip out, and this movement causes one of the guards, or one of the people that has been watching, to stand up and glare at the two of you. Gunreal, sit down before I change my mind.
We're trying to. Look at Kova.
Kova, please. Sit the fuck down.
She sits down.
Fine. I go sit down too.
Where is it you come?
Where we come from? You mean? I
You
come from
speak in
Miston.
riddles. Where in which you come?
I'm very sorry, but it sounds like you're the one speaking in riddles.
It is the language barrier to time, I believe. I come from the Feywild, currently. But we have entered this time from the material plane.
And what purpose brings?
Accident. We did not mean to come here.
He seems to smile at that.
I don't think anyone would come.
Desire, chance, accident, and parlance be damned. We find ourselves here.
Where is here?
The steps. The
JC?
mountain haven holds our sanctimony.
JC, quick question. When we came from before, were there mountains visible?
Yes.
Before we left. No, I mean before we came to this bit.
No.
Okay.
Before we left, not really. No, you were on rolling hills, and there were small mountains, as in what you would expect of the UK. Nothing quite Himalayan and Alps that you saw on the horizon when you arrived.
None of us have a map, do we?
Nope.
What stages of the God Plague is this, JC? Would I know? Is it like the latter or the early sort of stages? Good old disadvantage.
Woo. Well,
17.
still good.
With a 17. Where did you roll this?
Dice rolls.
Mine isn't updating for some reason. It's still on the 9.
Oh.
There was no 9.
There was never a 9. There was an 8.
An 8 even, yeah. Okay. Well, with a 17, you gather that they are in probably near the height. It's very difficult because the person has said 707, but typically speaking, there were not exactly records that noted much.
Go back.
People can take a
Yeah.
guess of it happened within these 5 or so years, or these 10 or so years, or these 20 or so years that major events happened. But generally speaking, 707 is somewhere near the height of. It's before the major battles that really decided who would win and who would lose. Tempest had united his portfolio and had lost a couple of fights by this point, and the Deathly Three had definitely taken a majority of the realms under their sway by this point, considering that all they had to do was make a contract with certain peoples or bribe certain ideologies onto their wavelength, and thus they had unlimited armies. The upper realms were still too busy squabbling and figuring out why they were no longer divinities to really mount much of a resistance in the beginning stages. This is This was the tipping point where they could still win or they could still lose.
Okay. Okay. I thought I'd put my face in my hand and go, okay.
What's wrong, Eleanor?
We're back really far away. There
I
isn't
mean-
much in the way of records of this time.
Oh.
It's close to the height.
What does that mean?
No one's winning currently.
Ah,
You speak like you know little and much.
Like I said, we've come from 2,000 years in the future, at least, of our reality. It was never something I looked into deeply myself. I had other duties to sort of attend to. I know who won, but that might not be good to say, depending on... It could change everything.
He bellows out a small snort of smoke at this before moving back and resting on his, using his tail as much as a stool as anything else, and kind of calculatingly looks at each of you. The tables you bring of skills, how many they be and the number of what?
I'm a great smith.
He looks at
You mean
you
what-
very keenly suddenly.
I can make weapons and armor. I'm a cook. I can cook great meals. Just ask Gova. I'm a great cook.
He is a very good cook. At least for our travels. Kova, you eat dirt occasionally.
Tasty?
Naturally. My skills are that of the sword, and I taught Jeffrey to my feet. I have of noble birth from our time, and I possess a little bit of magic. Not much, just some basics.
The conversation has
Magic.
definitely shifted towards Dwalius and Kova at that kind of mention.
Magic. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic.
She can-
In styles, in which ways and forms?
Druid.
He looks at you as if, keep going.
Uh-oh. And I don't. Okay, I'm not gonna point it towards anyone. I'm just gonna point it towards, like, the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Not meaning to do the wall damage, FYI. And then I
Fucking cave collapse.
Kill everybody.
and I will cast Moonbeam.
Okay. You create the cylindrical pillar of bluish light, and you definitely have got their interests. Has magics robbed your tongue?
What?
She's
Or
not been
perhaps-
around people for a long time, so she doesn't talk that much.
Tongue.
I don't know.
Tongue. What? What mean? Tongue mean?
You speak with little and I find disturbing in its styles. There is darkness that lingers.
Eh?
We kill? We should kill? Yeah?
Kova, no.
Your method of speaking confuses us. It's
Definitely.
much of a change. What do you mean? Can you talk in riddle?
Darkness? We should kill!
Yes. Right?
He
Kill.
is looking at Kova as if analysing something that no one else is seeing. Misdeeds of the past echo beyond the future. They linger and create Smith dwellers.
I.
The bonds of which you need to craft, be they great or small.
What bonds?
I think he means what you need to be able to craft something.
You wouldn't happen. I mean, I can do basic repairs for weaponry and adjustments for armor. I can't craft full armor or weapons unless I have a forge. But I
What
can.
is forge needs?
Big fire on coals and steel or iron. A bellows to keep the fire going would be useful.
Will you aid in the crafting of such materials for those that are greatest of needs in us?
I look at Ilmenor and I go, "We're helping, right?"
They're of the Hood Epitaph, so yes.
Yes, I would definitely help out. I know how to make most of the forge. Maybe, do you have any craftsmen on your side?
He kind of gestures to his apparel. Crafting, no. Repairs, yes.
Alright. We can try to make a forge and I can try to fix up your armor. Do you have the raw materials like iron around here?
The gnome who's been sitting quietly during all of this time goes over to the back corner of the room where a lot of the supplies were, where Kova was trying to angle and where a lot of the people were not wanting her to go, and begins rummaging through various pieces and brings out ingots of various descriptions, though they seem to have been, again, dinged, scavenged, and repaired, or half pieces and such. They're very much ragtag and whatever could be scrounged together.
I look at it and like I do the thinking man pose and rub my beard and I go, I could make something out of those. It won't be top notch stuff, I'm afraid, but it will definitely do the trick.
They looked at Eleanor. Top notch?
Best of quality. It'll work is what he means. It will not be fabulous. I sort of gesture to my sword, which is very ornately carved.
Requirements be which to create top notch?
Pure metal?
Time.
Time indeed. If you could get me some very like new freshly mined iron, refine that. I could make it, maybe even make steel if we get the resources for it. Which I can't remember out of the top of my head right now.
Dink and the Dragonborn begin rapidly conversing in Draconic.
Can
They
I?
seem to be weighing things up, and from most of your passive insights, you can guess that one of them is they're weighing merits at this moment. They're definitely talking about you.
Eleanor, do you have a bit of paper? I could draw out a design for the forge.
I don't have paper except for my scroll of pedigree. How's the ground like? Is it hard?
It's clay, packed clay.
I
Can
suppose
I
just
carve
give
into it,
him. Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
like use a knife to carve out a rough image of how a forge would look?
After a moment, Dink returns to you and says, that in which you require, we can have brought to you. Difficulties being, and he gestures up the tunnel, they control it.
You mean the creatures?
Time.
Well, I still have my greatsword on my back, so I can also fight myself.
When rested, I can move very swiftly if needed.
Right now we're kind of really exhausted, but after a bit of rest,
Yes,
we would all help out with acquiring the materials to get all of you better equipped.
This time is not your own.
True.
How long does this time remain your own?
I don't know.
Do you mean how long does this effect keeping us here last?
In words such as them, yes.
We have no idea. We accidentally activated some sort of ritual, maybe?
Then resting
It might be
you
here
will not.
permanent.
Alright. We'll be slow,
Yes.
but I'll still be willing to help out if you all come. And I look at Kova and Enil.
I will come, but I am still wounded, but I can do my best.
Gunreveal steps forward and puts a hand on your 3 shoulders and removes a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So our speed is halved, and we have disadvantage ability checks. We can attack better now, though.
Alright. That will help.
Time not beyond our controlling, that of the people who live within it, must be swift in action and ensuring success.
Of course.
Alright. Let's try to get it done as quick as we can then. So,
May our companion stay here and rest. That's what gesture to Anil. He will not be useful in this endeavor, I believe. He is a wizard.
Doesn't he have lesser restoration?
He's asleep. And does he?
He will come with, if his skills prove vital. Best to have than not.
Fair enough.
He goes over and rouses the gentleman. Oh, who's ringing me at this time of night? My dad. That's never good. Give me 1 second there, people. Sorry about this. Hello, is everything alright? I'm on stream at the moment, so I can't really talk. Okay then.
I'll catch up with you tomorrow, day after. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Cheers, bye.
Thought we were rebelling there at war.
Sorry about that. It was my dad doesn't normally call me at this time of night, so I was like, that could be a bad thing. So,
Yep.
But yes, with with them and yourselves not really knowing how much time you've got on your side, probably best to move out and do things while you have the chance rather than let it slip by.
Yeah.
So, and considering Will should be here next time, I don't really want to say no, his character won't come and then have him be forcibly sent out.
Fair enough.
Right.
As long as it takes, really.
Let it out.
So, Dwallies, you can certainly give a list of items that you would require for your disposal. They can make a kiln and a forge, and they have, a scavenged anvil, but like they said, more materials lie where the other side are currently holding it. Might be an idea to go in and try and get it either by stealth or by force. They're really looking at you to say what skills and what you require, because they don't know. A lot of their stuff is scavenged, repaired, and bodged together, so you can make or even upgrade or just make their stuff a single item rather than hodgepodge item. It would do them a great deal of good.
Yeah, no. If Dolius gets the materials, he could crank out a bunch of like swords, shields. If he gets some help from some of the repair guys as well, like he could give basic instructions on how to make the shields, and they could make most of the shield. All Dolius would need to do would be make an iron lining for the outside.
Alrighty. Well, so you're welcome to take a short rest if needs be, but I think most people are fairly spent and tapped on
No
resources,
hit,
aren't
guys.
they?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I have a hit last as well.
Gunreal looks at all of you. I am blessed by Bahamut's grace. Do you require anything before we leave?
What? Do you guys need something?
If you could heal some of my wounds, it would be helpful. But I do not know to what extent to be able to. That's what would show the massive cuts and burns.
I have capacity. And he will... my keyboard works. Do that. You gain 10 hit points.
Okay.
That
My
was
thanks.
Terrible. A 2, 2, and a 1.
I haven't been doing well with healing for me.
That fixed the hole in your hand, mostly.
Yeah, no, I'm out. Some of the cuts are sort of getting rid of, so... my thanks.
Yep, bit by bit.
Actually,
All right,
no, I don't actually. Come to think of it, he probably... I'm going to take that back, because now that I think about it, he wouldn't waste that slot for that. He'd probably just do it at first
Fair
level,
enough.
so... you get 7 instead.
I mean, it's almost as good.
Again,
Nope.
another 2.
That's worse.
Cool.
Right, I'm gonna be honest with you now. What's his name again? The Dragonborn?
Gunreal.
Gunreal. I am not very stealthy.
Then a distraction we must make.
I am good at making distractions sometimes.
I sort of pull out a vial of oil.
I'm just gonna smile really big and put my head on Dwo's shoulder.
Oh yeah, Kova can do a distraction better than any of us. Let's go. Do you know where it is?
Yes, we will reach before. And considering there's no such thing as time in this time period, we will reach it soon.
Alright.
Does the light ever go to night?
The light is permanence. The sky weeps as the gods no longer hold reign in it.
It is concerning.
So you head your way back out the clay tunnel, back out to the surface, and Gunreal takes a moment to cast a look around before looking at all of you. Follow closely as best you can, and he begins moving at a decent-ish pace. He's heading away. Well, it's kind of like parallel to how the mountain range rises in the horizon. He's moving in that direction. You travel for
I
the
can do
best
it.
part of an hour, though probably with your diminished speeds, might be a little bit longer than that, before you eventually come in the plateau to a depression. There seems to be some, like this, he crests into what must have once been a river. The river has since run dry, and you can see where this area might have been a floodplain or a large lake, and there's a large tent fortress set up. A lot of people's moving around. You can hear and see and smell the sounds of smithing and weapon making. These creatures that were spotted upon the horizon, you managed to skirt around, or whenever they were to come within reasonable distance of you. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking. Whenever they come within reasonable distance of you, Gunreal takes out a powder and blows on it and sets it aglow, and this smoke begins to perfume around the area, and it's a very bitter smell, but it seems that these creatures, whenever they get within close proximity of it, rapidly turn around and move away.
Well, that's useful.
It is how we move. It is how we move. Come. He eventually leads you to where you can get a bit of a vicinity around it, and digging with his clawed hands, he pulls up a trench and eventually gets kind of a pillbox for you to duck down into where you can observe from. You will not be so visible. You can see a number of these creatures moving around in the tents. They circle around. It's not even a pool anymore. It's this quicksandy depression that they're pulling things out of. There's a large corkscrew auger that's set into it, and they're pulling things out of it. And every so often, you can see a large rock or something like that bloob, and a bubble of something in the center of it breaks the surface, and a pungent odor that you can actually see disappears into the atmosphere while they're pulling out minerals of various substances. Dwalius, if you want to make a intelligence with proficiency, go right ahead.
Alright. Intelligence with my proficiency at disadvantage. So that would be that number. That's not looking too great. Let's see what we got on the roll number 2. Oh, even worse. 7.
With a 7, you can kind of gather that most of the items they're pulling out are heavy ores, so things like irons and coppers and tins, that sort of heavy industry elements. Useful for what you're looking for. You can notice that large crates have been set up, and these abomination creatures, these arachnid-type skeletons with long, serrated arms reaching out from above and below the shoulders, they're grabbing it, scabbling it, moving it into the crates, and then the larger, hulking, sagging creatures grab hold of it and begin dragging it off to another location. And in that location, you can see where the huge plume of continual fire is being raised.
I point at the crates. Those are what we need. They have the rough ore in there. It would be best if we could get the refined ore, but I don't see that anywhere yet.
Are you able to refine it yourself?
I can refine it myself. It just takes some extra time. Adds another process to the work, you know?
Distraction.
How many of the creatures are there, JC?
From what you're seeing, there's maybe about a dozen.
then? How are we gonna get, the crates?
Kova, what can you do?
Do we wish the crates or the items in which they've refined?
Well, the refined ones would be the best.
Do you see any of them, Dwalius?
Let me
Should we
spy
follow
again.
the smoke?
Yes, probably. That's where they are refining.
He looks at you as if, is that not the better place to go then?
Yeah, let's go. That way?
Is that along the pill? Is that
I-
through the trenches sort of in current?
You're more than welcome to charge in right now with no plan, but I kind of assumed you would
Yeah.
want to make some.
Currently, are we? So we're in a trench, right? Or a pillbox?
So a small hole has been dug out, and then a blanket has been thrown over the top of you, so you can look out and peek out. There's not much of a chance of you guys being seen, thankfully.
But the hole doesn't continue towards where we want to go.
No,
Okay.
you're just in this hole at the moment. You're on the other side of this. You're on the rim of this depression when they are working in the basin of it. Their machinery is being cranked and being done either mechanically, magically, or by beast of burden. You can see a lot of them, though, seem to be undead in nature. Lots of undead. Most of these creatures seem to be mutants or undead in nature. Though you can see some of them have a bit more brightness to their eye, I guess.
Fuck.
Fog.
Create a fog, you mean?
How much can you create?
120. 25.
It's not really much. So this whole, like, how roughly big is this giant depression?
It seems to be about the basin of a. Like the basin itself is fairly large, but the encampment is, as I say, about a dozen or so tents with some larger, seemingly a bit more permanent structures a little bit set behind them. The tents seem to be for putting things in and storing them out of sight.
What I've got oil we can burn. What I'm thinking is, me and Kova head over to one of the sides away from the way you want to go in. You make that giant fog cloud, and I set a bunch of the oil on fire. Make it look like there's an attack coming towards them. Maybe they'll run. Maybe they'll go fight it. And we can buy you time.
To look for the materials where they are smithing.
The refined ones, yes.
All right. We should. Do I see the smithy from where we are? No, right?
So you see where they're dredging up a lot of the materials from the bottom of this basin. You gather that probably the water, whenever it did run, pushed a lot of the heavier materials into this basin, and they've just stayed there. They're now dredging that up. They're then taking that by cart and they're moving it a distance away from where all this is being set up, behind it into open forge and open smith pits. That's why I'm saying you can see the fire and you can see the smoke from where they're working. You can see people working on the refined items, or like you can see them beating on the metals to beat out the impurities and begin forging things. But again, it's what risks you want to take and how you want to go about it. The structures and the machinery and such are concentrated in almost a triangular angle, with the auger set at the tip of the triangle, and then various things along the sides moving back towards where the forging is going on.
All right. Do I see? So they're immediately refining the stuff, or refining the refined materials into weaponry and stuff like that, right?
They're not leaving it in ingot form. They're immediately turning it into they're immediately refining it into a pure state, and then taking that pure state and making it into substances.
Do they have a lot of those substances stored around?
With your perception of 7? Oh, wait, no,
No.
that wasn't perception. Roll a perception. Roll a perception.
All right.
All of you can, obviously.
That's a 14. One is a 12.
Sorry.
11.
12 as well.
Okay. So all
Oh,
of
yeah,
you
passive beats it.
all of you can kind of gather that there is some being stored, but it's not a massive amount. It's enough to, well, no one really knows how much how much of it there is. But from what you're seeing, they're moving cratefuls of it to be refined. Now, how much of that can be refined into something useful? Dualis would be the only one to know, and that's only with something in some inspection.
Yeah, I would have to be up close to do that, and I don't think we can grab a bunch of crates with just us 4, 5.
Kill!
I don't think we can kill all of them either, Cove.
I just had a giant ogre program to take that thing down alone.
We could. Would you be able to
Gunreel, do these things suffer from fear? Can they be terrified?
In his experiences, no. Most undead
Can't
are
make-
impervious to
Yeah.
fear, though you can turn them, which is what he can do.
We can't make them flee using distractions.
You can draw their attention, but you wouldn't make them flee. No.
I mean, if you could draw their attention on the other side of the camp, then we could see, go up close, inspect the metal real quick, see what we can take.
Enil has a look at his spellbook and contemplates, thinking about, could I make an illusion? Could I make an image? Would that draw them up somewhere? I could be nearby with Kova, do that sort of thing, maybe?
I was gonna say real quick, out of game. It's 10 minutes till it's time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since Ino isn't here, I didn't really want to rush into it.
Well, that's kind of the point.
I had no spell list, so.
I never intended for you guys to rush into this. You're more than welcome to just go, blah, and then I'll say, okay, and that's where we'll stop, as the various people look at you. But there are, I kind of gathered that you would want to have a think on this and scout it out. I mean, you have a person that's rather good at stealthing, for example. He might be a way to go about it.
What I'm thinking is, if our two spellcasters can make a large sort of warband sort of appearance, coming over over the plains, the fog, smoke, and maybe sound effects and bangs, they might all turn to trying to fight that, and you can rush in and grab whatever we can.
That might work. If you could give us enough time, we could probably get away with a bunch of stuff, yeah? If enough of them, go to fight.
I can make... This is out of character.
Yeah.
I have the spell Plant Growth. I can reduce all of their movements. So if
If
we
they
get...
fail, correct?
Well, it will at least grab their attention.
Yeah. So I think
So what I'm saying is I can do... The fog lasts... I can make the fog go for an hour. Okay? And then... I can do plant growth, and I can get them stuck in that general vicinity, which is 100 foot radius from the point that I can drag them away.
and if it makes an illusion or something, just a lot of that bang, they'll go over, hunt that. You keep them far enough away, and then we rush and grab what we can.
The creatures moving through that area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves. So unless they have the power to fly or shit like that, then
Well, we've not seen anything fly yet, so...
Gunreel, would it be best if, after we've taken what we can, we burn what's left? I have a few flasks of oil that I could use to set fire to the wooden incompetence around their forges.
We can destroy their forges as well.
Oh, we've got everything we need.
Yeah.
If I actually my visibility spell left, oh well.
There's always the chance that we get dragged back into the future, and then we can possibly try and come back. It might not be at the same time, but
Well, we don't know.
I don't trust that machine in all honesty.
I still can't even comprehend that machine.
Yeah.
This one, I'm just happy I get to make weapons.
I've got 1,000 ball bearings. So what we could do is we could mix your plants with the ball bearings and make it so they can't get anywhere.
You have a giant fucking bag of ball bearings.
This is a burglar's pack.
I'm just imagining you like carrying a what do you call it, like those big potato sacks over your shoulder, filled with ball bearings.
No, it's a dignified backpack filled with ball bearings. Come now.
Dignitaries. It's like, we need some help with my bags, and you just hand it over to the waiter, and as he holds onto it, he bends over double, and his back gives out from the weight of it.
What is it? It weighs 47 pounds.
That's 20. That's nearly 20. I think it's 22 kg.
Yeah, it's a big bag. It's full of rope, ball bearings, string, a bell, a bunch of candles, a crowbar, and a hammer.
Oh, you're a lot buffer than I thought you were, man.
It is energy string.
Hey, you could set something up so that you have a string and a bell on a string and have it dingle 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 in the center or something. I can certainly do. That might cause something.
What I could do is I could attach the ball bearings and the bell to a string that I could hammer into the ground via the pitons that I've got and my hammer. So if you make them cross over that string, it'll pull the ball bearings down, make a sound, and then you could use plant growth to stop them moving. Does that make sense?
As in that it would give her the location of where they are at that moment.
Yeah, so we mix that in with the illusion to get them distracted. They all end up stuck, falling over, and tied to the ground effectively. And then
Me and
Gunreal, and probably me as well, because I could probably run there quickly enough, grab whatever we can.
Alright. That sounds like it might work. We can lure them all out under the illusion of basically a warband approaching them.
It kind of depends on Hill's spellbook, sadly.
What?
He might not have illusion spells, so... A couple of fireballs might work, though. Big loud bangs to distract them.
The illusion that there would be a bunch of mages.
Well,
yeah.
I think this is definitely something that they will have a good think about before next session, and we'll try and come up with a plan. As I said, we'll probably have a map for you guys next time, as a lot of what happened I didn't not really expect you to get to this session, but I'm happy that you did, because it brings a rather interesting intrigue into the game. So, thank you very much for watching, but before we go, we must decide on a couple of things. First of all, we need to figure out what was the DM moment of the night, the DM NPC, and what was the player's moment of the night. So, where should we start?
Probably the NPC.
Okay, so which one would you give that to?
Well, it was either Dink or Gunrail, right? Would it have been the Dragonborn? I think it should have been the Dragonborn.
I mean, he did more. Dink sort of was just there going, yes, I exist.
Yeah. Hi, I'm here.
Oh yeah, Dink's accent was great. But Gunreal was a talker.
Gunreal wins. Gunreal, fuck. Dragon Boy, you win.
Dragon Boy, he killed me a little bit.
Alrighty, so Gunreal gets the DM inspiration. So what about you guys? Who would you vote for? And also, there's some people in the stream, so you guys let me know as well what and who you would vote for the play of the night, because whoever wins will get DM inspiration, and they will get to have advantage on something of their choice next time we play.
Cancel out that exhaustion.
Question: can I get an ogre arm as well?
Oh
You might be able
god.
to.
You kill it, yes.
I think play of the night. A really funny moment was Gova just not fucking listening to me. And trying to worsen our relationship with the people we've just met in a cave. I think that was quite a funny moment. Not necessarily play of the night, but a funny moment. Go ahead, Gova.
Mine was probably Elimina's. I'm gonna uncanny dodge the hand slap with mud.
Yeah.
Wait, how does that work?
I take half the mud damage.
So that sounds that sounds like we've got a fairly big split there. So who's I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure who's.
Eleanor,
who are you going for?
Eleanor hasn't.
I was just saying Wally for coming up with the being able to be a smith from the riddles that you were getting.
What?
You realised that you could basically use your smithing ability as a help.
Oh yeah. So we have an all tie.
Yeah.
Everyone has one vote.
Okay then. Well, I will leave it for the stream and the comments to decide. But if there is no clear winner, that means I get to use it.
Oh no!
So, thank you very much for joining us. Apologies again for the stream being a little bit harebrained. I do not understand why various parts of it are not working when they should be working. I've literally got it up on my other screen. It just keeps on stalling, so I don't know what's going on there. But thank you very much for your time, and we shall see you in an hour for the next game. Be sure to come to that for Campaign 2 of Welcome to Raska. Allura is also part of that, where currently they are dealing with another aspect of the God Plague, though this one a much more recent appearance. I'm not saying anything more, so bye for now.
Bye.
What do you mean, after we just,